Hi friends, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna show you how you can paint loose style fun strawberries like this in a quick few minutes. It's a very fun project if you are just in the mood of playing with watercolors. I believe such projects really help you in calm yourself or relax a little bit, and these come out very beautiful too, right? So all you need is, I'm just going to talk about what I'm going to use for this project. This is watercolor paper, 140 pounds. It's Strathmore watercolor paper, and I have some colors over here. The paints that I'm going to use are some of the pinks. This is permanent rose, Cenelia red, and a few magentas and some yellows for the strawberries. And for the green part of the strawberries, I'm gonna mix in some sap green, a little bit of lemon yellow, and maybe a touch of little blue. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so it's just a loose style. We don't need any sketching here, and you can use a big brush. I'm using the size 8 brush, and what I'll do is I'll start by mixing some pink in my palette. This is permanent rose, and this is a personal preference. I normally like to mix a little bit of warm colors in my pinks. I don't just take the paint straight out of the tube. I always mix some other shades like yellow or sometimes blue. It depends. So I'm going to mix some pink here and taking very dilute paint. As you can see, I'm also taking some magenta and just giving it a nice full swirl like this. And once you have loaded your brush, what you need to do is start anywhere. I'm just going to start over here and simply just paint or draw a strawberry shape. It's kind of an oval shape, but it is wider on the top and very thin at the bottom. And as I'm doing this, I will intentionally leave a white gap just to give a sense of some highlights. Isn't that fun? So while I'm doing this, I'm also taking this more yellowish shade here and just gonna drop it. And that way these colors will blend together, making a nice, beautiful effect. Like this. Now I'm gonna take more paint, and you can also vary the shades. Let's say I'll take a little bit of red now, mix it in just for some fun variation. And this time I'll start from here and intentionally touch my first strawberry like this and do the same thing, leaving a little white gap like so. And again, you can use a little bit of yellow for the bottom part, or you can just keep it pink if you want to. That's completely up to you. If you want to fix anything, you can always go back and fix things like this. Again, taking more pink, and this time I'll make one here, and for this one, what I'll do is I'll rather take a little bit of purple and just add it. So having some variation in the pinks will give it a very nice effect. Like this. This exercise is so much fun. Seriously, you would love to paint more and more of these. Now this time I'll add more yellow, make it kind of orangish shade, and maybe drop one strawberry over here. I'm keeping the paint very dilute for that watercolor transparency, but if you want, you can add more paint in the mix. Again, a personal choice. Taking more pink, this time I'll add one here So this is a like no pressure fun exercise just to build up your muscle memory, have some fun with the paints, play around with water to paint ratio, all that fun stuff. And if you want, you can actually leave 1 or 2 strawberries without the highlight too. Like this. And maybe I'll paint one more of purplish over here. Like this. And honestly, at this point, you can actually convert these into balloons as well if you want to. So this is how much fun watercolor is. Like you can just do whatever you want with this medium. Again, taking some orangish shade, and I'll add one here on the top. Maybe add some more yellow here. And this is also a very fun exercise to understand colors and their relationships with each other. So how colors will work together. So this might look like it's nothing. It's not a very, important subject to paint, but honestly, such exercises are really, really helpful in understanding so many techniques. Like we are literally using too much water. We are understanding how much water to use on paper. Another thing is we are blending colors on paper itself. So we are kind of using wet on wet plus blending technique. So you can see that we are learning a lot in this simple project. And you can go on and on. Add more here. Like this. And if you look at the overall shape, you can actually plan out once you're done with a few of these shapes. I would say if you want, you could have, a circular shape, maybe overall shape, or you can draw a heart shape and then paint all these strawberries inside that. But I'm gonna keep it loose, but just an idea. I thought that would be fun too. And leaving some white space, understanding how negative space gives so much, breathing room in our paintings as well. So using yellow, more of yellow in this one. So I'm really not, planning anything. I'm just going with whatever comes to my mind at this point. And just playing around with the colors. And also changing the angles of the strawberries. And this is a fun exercise. This is a loose exercise. I also love painting strawberries in realistic style. And that's another thing. That's a little big project, but that's fun too. Adding one here, maybe smaller one. So you can also change the size of the strawberries. So don't have all of them of same size. Try to vary the sizes as well. So I'm gonna make an overlap here using a smaller one. This is kind of an glazing technique, right? And a few more, maybe 1 or 2 more here. A little bit of overlap is okay, like this. Okay, and maybe I think it looks good so far, so I'll just add one last one here. And then we are going to give it some time to dry. Okay, I'm not too much worried about the hard edges here because this is again a very loose style. Don't worry about anything here. We just need to give it some rest and let it dry, and once it is dry we'll add the seeds on top and the greenery. Okay, all right, so now everything is dry completely. Now I'm gonna switch my brush to size 6 round brush, and for the green part, the green leaves and the tops of the strawberry, I'm going to take some sap green in my brush, and I feel like the sap green is very different from what I used to use. This is a different brand, so I'm gonna just mix a little bit of indigo in this to make it more interesting. You can just mix some blue and yellow to make nice beautiful shades of greens. So just take a little bit of green, and we are going to use 2 or 3 shades of green. So somewhere we'll add some lighter green, and in some parts we are going to add darker greens. So what I'll do is I'm taking the brush, loading the brush with green and starting to add some tops on the strawberries by just making these little tiny leaves, or I think they're called strawberry tops. I'm not sure what exactly they're called. Just adding those. Okay, so doing the same thing on each one of these little strawberries. Even if they are like kind of overlapping, we are still going to add some greenery on the top. Like this. And no sketch again, we are just keeping it very loose and fun. No pressure, just keeping it loose like this, like so. And once we are done with these tops, I'm going to add some leaves in some of the strawberries. So just kind of adding a little stem, and then using the pressure technique by pressing the brush, slowly releasing it. Adding one more. Maybe I'll add one here. Again, keeping it very loose. Maybe add one here. Adding some on the sides. Changing a little bit of tone by adding some blue in it. Maybe add one here. One on this part. And some here. In different directions as well. Okay, and if you want, you can also add one here on the top, and just looking at it from a little distance and see where we can just bring some balance. And I think it looks good so far. Now I'll take a smaller brush. This round 4 should work well, and for the seeds you can use a darker shade. I'm going to use a brown, dark brown shade that I have already mixed in here. I'll just show you that. So mixed in this brown shade by mixing all the 3 primaries, and I'm going to just use the tip of my brush and making sure that strawberries are completely dry before I do that, and randomly adding some dots. Just make sure you don't really create a very pronounced pattern in the strawberries. Okay, just adding few here, like this. And if you feel comfortable, you can actually make it easy for you sometimes by moving your paper or rotating your paper like this. It helps a lot. So I'm right-handed, so sometimes I find it very hard to work on the left side of my painting, so I usually turn it around. Like so. Adding some here. Random, very random. Nothing too perfect here, okay? Again, I'm going to move my paper around and like this. If you can, if you have a detail brush or a small detail brush like 0 or even smaller than that, that should be a good choice. Or you can also use pigment marker for this. And if you feel like, you can actually bring in some depth in the leaves by adding some dark tones, but that's completely optional. Like so. And there you have it. Our beautiful strawberry spread is done. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.